Hi, welcome back to Keep It Dirty, a podcast where my guests share their life living functionally and sustainably and the why behind their experiences navigating through our ever changing environment. I am your host, Leslie Dowling. I'm a corporate speaker sharing how one can jumpstart your path to increase revenue and productivity through restorative health techniques. And today it's a pleasure to welcome my middle son, Nick Dowling. Nick is a senior at Wake Forest University, environmental studies major, and also ROTC. And we're really going to focus on how do you prevent burnout? Or is it once you do burn out, you navigate differently, trying to use different strategies for eating properly, maybe getting exercise, also getting the rest that you need. So, Nick, it's great to see you and have you home for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, absolutely. It's great to be here and happy to be on the show.
So, maybe you could share a little bit about how you, maybe over the past year or so, I know you are a very committed and focused student, and you're very active, involved at Wake Forest University. So maybe you could share how what you have experienced and how you've kind of changed the way that you've approached your health.
Um, well, I mean, yeah, I'm super involved in a lot of the stuff that I do, which is great. I get to have a big impact on a few different organizations that I'm a part of, so that's um, that's been great. But there's definitely a balance that you need to strike, and I kind of learned the hard way this past semester, just with overcommitting myself a little bit, I think, and then um, just not getting enough sleep, and then facing kind of the mental consequences of that because it definitely took a toll on increasing my anxiety and was a huge issue for me that I'm still trying to resolve, I guess. So I mean, the biggest thing that I learned was I think that anything I do, I try and overdo. Like anything worth doing is worth overdoing, but you need to be very careful on like what you commit yourself to. So I'm definitely someone that gets a lot of opportunities presented to them, which is great, but I need to be careful with what I need to remember that I think to avoid burnout, which is like the central question of what we're talking about here, is you need to allocate time to yourself. I think every day you should reach a point in your day where you don't have a lot of the responsibility or stress anymore. And so you can use that time to either catch up on personal things, or in my case, I like to go and train at the gym and work out. So I kind of had lost that. And that's something that just for the future and moving forward that I'm going to prioritize every day.
And what about what does your regime say when you get back on track? Meaning, I know you're very focused on just trying to eat clean. I mean, it's really hard when you're rushing around to your classes and some of the organizations you're involved with. But what are your go-to foods? Or I know you're into smoothies. Maybe you could share with our viewers and listeners what goes into Nick Dowling's smoothie.
Well, I mean, yeah, the smoothies are a part of it. I usually do that when I'm at home, but another part of it is this past semester, I decided to invest money or just basically buy each and every week something from a company called Clean Eats. So they do make typically, good quality whole food meals, and then they'll package them for you, and then you can pick them up. But at least for what I recognize is it did get a little expensive for a college student. And it was very accessible because all these meals, it was super easy just to heat them up and then and eat them. So I had that each and every week, but just due to financial constraints for what it felt like, and not always placing the order, I guess I decided to kind of sway away from that. And then I was going to the grocery store a little bit and trying to get foods that I could just make each and every day. But of course, that takes more time. So I had to kind of switch things around. And so what I think I'm going to do for the future is just do some meal prep, probably buy my groceries on the weekend, and then try and do some meal preparations for the entirety of the week. And then that way I have those meals ready to go and I don't have to spend a whole lot of time making food. So we'll see how it works out, but I think that's the plan right now.
I guess what I'm hearing is if something is not working, you kind of tweak it a bit and you see what your body responds to and what your body is not having those highs and lows of blood sugar levels fluctuating. I know as a student years ago, I would run to the vending machine and get like a Snickers or something. And years ago, I didn't realize that you crash and burn when you have those refined sugars. So something that stabilizes you. I know that you like avocados. I see sometimes you're eating avocado, or I make a lot of hard boiled eggs when you're home before you run out the door. That's great. It kind of stabilizes your blood sugar and you're not having those peaks of highs and lows. It's protein. Uh, Avocados are rich in antioxidants. And you also do some of the super fruits, and
Oh
maybe you
yeah.
could talk about that.
No, well, I typically every morning I try and keep my breakfast. I always try and eat breakfast. That's a huge part of my day because typically what I'll do is try and eat like a bigger breakfast, and then usually eat like something smaller, not usually anything at all during the middle of the day, just because I'm running around and I'm pretty busy, and then I'll eat like a bigger meal at night. So typically, sometimes I only will eat 2 meals a day, which isn't typical for most people, but just based on my schedule and what's feasible for me. That's kind of how I've been structuring it, at least while I'm at school. But always in the morning, I'll try and do like yogurt with some of the superfood powders. Um,
And what are those? What are some
like
of the
there's a
go-to?
moringa powder. Um, there's an acai powder and
Also, chia seeds,
chia seeds as
which is
well.
great because
I mean, I'll usually put like a protein powder in there. Um, and then maybe a few others. But those superfood powders are really good um, for what I feel is best for me. And then I'll mix that up with some fruit, and then also, like I said, put the protein in. I've been taking magnesium pills because I've done some research and those aid with sleep and quality of sleep. So I'll take those. I usually take a vitamin C tablet. I'll usually take fish oil pill and then just a multivitamin, and then I'll get that in the morning. Uh, I usually do also a shot of apple cider vinegar in the in hot water. So I think it's pretty good based on some of the things that I've seen, as well as it kind of clears me out in the morning. So that's kind of helpful. And then I do have like a powder that's basically like a greens powder. It has a ton of nutrients as well as some of the specific nutrients that you have in a lot of like green foods. So if I don't eat enough of that during the day, I'm definitely getting that within this powder. It has also some um, microbiotics within the powder as well that aid with gut health. So that's good. Trying to think what else. And then I'll usually eat like eggs and toast in the morning. So a pretty big breakfast, which is what I like to do. And then for dinner, it usually fluctuates on what I might eat. So
Yeah.
that's kind of what that looks like. But keeping that stability throughout my schedule definitely helps me stay mentally focused as much as I can be.
And I think that's the key, that people don't realize that when they're on the run in the morning, they might crash and burn. And your brain gut, there's a direct correlation. There's neurotransmitters that are transporting um, the uh, the frequencies of like communicating. So our gut is like our second brain, and we need to feed the fuel. We have to fuel our body. And the other thing is, I feel that a lot of people, and especially like college students or people just going out on their own in their 20s and getting an apartment, a lot of times they'll just rush somewhere because they're on, a strict budget, to just run and say, oh, this vitamin is on sale. No, you have to be so careful where these vitamins are sourced. Where are they made? Are they encapsulated with corn that is genetically modified? the outer skin of the corn. There could be whey in there or some allergens that you might be affected if you have any food allergies. So really do your research. There's a lot out there that you could Google, and there's a lot of products out there that you have to be so careful to see what you're putting in your body, because a lot of things can be toxic, and that's something else. I know that as a kid, like I would always say, and as a teenager, I would say, don't use the deodorants with metals in it. Use more the natural ingredients, because I know as crazy as this sounds, the cleaner you eat, the more in tune and heightened your senses are. And also the cleaner you eat, you will be perspiring, but you don't have the smell that you are emitting when you eat food that is chemically treated. That's right. So try to see if you could buy organic, or if you could go and do like a food share group with people. Maybe you check in your college, different organizations have this, and then you eat what Mother Earth provides depending on that month. So really start being aware of your body, because if you start now in your 20s, by the time you're mid-age, you are going to be thriving, and you're going to be feeling really good. So I love this. Is there any other shares or anything you could just, share with everybody that's listening on burnout? And it really goes with any age. And I think the shifts and the demands on you, you're going to be graduating. And maybe you could just share what you'll be doing. And
Oh yeah, well I'm going. So I was in Army ROTC throughout college, so I'm going into the Army as an infantry officer. So I'll stay within that position, active duty, for 4 years, and then from there, that's when my contract ends. So if I decide to stay in, I'll transition to military intelligence. But if not, then I'll just get out of the Army or enter the reserves or National Guard. Um, so yeah, I think this past semester, in terms of burnout, it's definitely taught me a lot, and it's a requirement, despite the some of the stresses of work, as well as um, the responsibility that you have. Staying mentally acute and prioritizing that when you need to, I think, is essential for optimal function. So that's something that my biggest takeaway and area of improvement, I think, going forward for the future.
yeah. So, well, I wanted to thank you, because I know that you have a lot of great, tips and tools, things that you have kind of built as you have grown and evolved to kind of shift gears, figure out. And when you're in tune with your body, when there's those red flags, when you're eating really healthy and you eat something that might be processed, or it really affects you on a deeper level. And that's when you feel like, wow, I'm not getting the sleep I need. Your circadian rhythms have a profound effect on the way that you are going to optimally, or not optimally perform in life. So again, thank you, Nick.
Yeah, absolutely.
And also, I just wanted to give a shout out to the avocado cookie, which features heart healthy ingredients like avocado and flaxseed, and uses all natural monk fruit sweetener, making it low in sugar and keto friendly. There is no butter, dairy, flour, or eggs, making it gluten-free and vegan-friendly too. So remember, when you visit their website, avocadoughh cookie.com, and use the promo code KeepItDirty10, you receive 10% off your order. And just remember, everybody, try to ground with Mother Earth and keep it dirty.